I'm gonna go out and build a snowman.
Let it go.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 33 of Battle Talk, a Blizzard podcast where we talk about pretty much everything Blizzard related. I'm your host, Mike, and joining me, as usual, are Cody. And Dom. Why are you both laughing?
It's cold. I need some antifreeze.
It's okay. It's 60, 70 degrees here.
I have nothing for that statement. Antifreeze. So what's up, guys?
Hi.
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 I'm really cold.
I'm really warm.
I've just spent the last 12 hours outdoors.
Yeah.
Me too.
For those wondering, Dom and I were hit with the Snowpocageddon, or whatever the hell the internet's calling it.
Winter Storm Juno.
Was that what it was called?
It was honestly kind of a troll. I mean,
For-
realistically, we didn't get a lot, but I had 3 driveways and walkways to shovel, and that's a lot.
I was expecting to walk outside and wake up this morning, look outside, and not be able to see anything. But
I wanted the snow piled up over the house or something. That's what I really didn't want that because that's even more snow to clean up. But that's what I was expecting.
that's what I was expecting too. I was expecting to look outside and not be able to make out the road or anything like that. All the cars be buried, but no, our 2.5 feet worst storm New York City will have ever seen. 6 inches of snow. And then
Nemo
moved right
was
along.
worse.
Yeah. They name winter storms is the first I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I knew
They
that,
name
but
all their storms.
I knew that. I just never bothered to memorize the names of storms that have hit us. So, on topic now. World of Warcraft stuff. What have you guys been up to this week?
Oh, you know,
Go on.
killing the last boss in High Mall without a certain rogue. I think that was our issue all along.
Whoa,
Response?
whoa.
Rebuttal.
Rebuttal?
Okay, it was my fault.
Counter
See?
rebuttal?
So proud to say that Silent Chaos is now 7 for 7 on normal, 5 for 7 on heroic, and we didn't even have a certain rogue who likes to top the death meters every weekend.
I'm pretty
So-
sure you die more than I do.
That's debatable.
How many times do you onk per fight?
You know what? I'm going to have to keep track
None?
of this.
Mm-hmm.
Starting this weekend.
I did, however, I did die in the Imperator fight at the very end after we had killed him.
Yeah, and guess what? I didn't.
Because
You weren't there.
Technicalities.
No, yeah, I'm guessing how many weeks of raiding with the same people we've figured out how to synergize or something, because last couple of
We
weeks
changed
it's
our
just been
strat up.
great.
Yeah, we changed our strat up, and me and Cody were talking pretty excessively one night about different ideas. We butted heads on a few different strategies, but that's what a raid team is going to do. Not everybody's going to agree with the same thing, and when it came down to it, we found a strat that we thought we were pretty comfortable with, and unfortunately, I was not there to see it executed properly. But you know what? At least you guys got it down. That's what really matters, and the fact that we don't need the entire core group of the raid team and officers to be there to get it done is even better. It shows great progress for the future,
Yarp.
You just had a bunch of text messages and tweets go your way.
I did? What happened?
Do I want to know what happened?
No, he was drunk, and I was texting him
Oh.
profusely,
I
Ben.
saying, "Oh, look what we did." He's like, "I'm drunk." I'm like, "Hmm."
I looked back at the. I'm gonna try to read this right now. Actually, hold on.
Oh god.
Your,
Let's see.
your text messages? Yeah, I
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
just
Hold
kind of
on.
stopped reading them.
Okay, so I don't know if you could see this. Right, this is the picture that Cody tweeted me. Right?
Actually, hold on. Cody, you had it set up in your background, right?
I got rid of it.
Ugh,
Yeah.
damn it.
So that's the picture that Cody tweeted. Right?
With a big hole in it.
Yeah, because there's like a green dot or something. Yeah, that's the green triangle raid marker. That's what that is. That big dot. So green screen's picking that up. So yeah, you sent that, and then he said, well, here's their pick. Imp killed tonight, and I said, I am dry, K, HB. I don't know what I was trying to say there.
You're all I got was you're drunk.
And then Cody just responds K, and I said, IG am drunk. Is it XEAD period 0? And then Cody just goes, I can tell. So I don't know how he read what I typed because I can't even read it after the fact that I wrote it. But
I got nothing. Yeah.
it was, all I know is I had a great night. I'm glad you guys had a great night. And yeah.
Yeah. It's fun stuff. So, here's a good question. Are we running out of things to do in World of Warcraft?
We're currently not.
But do you think a player without access to a static raid team that can clear normals and heroics or anything like that, do you think they are running out of things to do?
I think there's just, in general, not a whole lot of content right now. Like, yeah, you got the garrisons, and, the garrisons are meant to eat up a lot of time or whatever, but when it comes down to it, especially now that we have, like, the Master Planner add-on and stuff like that, you really don't have to sit there and debate about what the best possible setup is for your followers. That all does it for you. It's all manually. So you actually finish your followers now in, like, 10 seconds as opposed to, like, 10, 20 minutes. If you really want to get, like, mathematically accurate about the best possible way to get all your scavenger missions and gold and all that done. So that's handled in, like, a fraction of the time now. And outside of raiding, what are you going to do? Level alts? That's always been there. But
Yeah.
current content, I've been going back and doing old raids, and I can only do that once a week. All the raids I can only get done once a week on my tune. I could run that on alts too, but that I don't.
Do you really want to run the same raids how many times a week on alts? I mean, it would make you a crap ton of gold if you did,
It would.
but that's a lot of time to sink into doing that. But if you're upset that you don't have a lot of things to do, fret not, because coming next patch, the selfie camera is being put into WoW. I was expecting that reaction from one of them.
This is gonna get me to unsubscribe to this game.
The selfie camera, really?
The selfie
What
camera.
do you got against taking selfies?
I don't have issues taking selfies. It's the amount of stupid duck faces that are going to be posted on Twitter now.
Did I really? No, I'm not taking a duck face. That's just wrong.
I'm not going to take a duck face. I'll take a selfie right now. I don't care, but no.
No.
It's a fun item. Come on.
No. It's just another toy for Xizta to collect.
It sure is, and that's that's one of my first things I'm going to be doing is lining up my garrison mission to get the pieces to turn it into a toy.
All right. Well, that works.
And now he's going to be going around his garrison at every angle trying to take a picture.
I'll use it like once or twice.
You can't use it when we did. Take pictures middle of the raid encounters when you're doing something horribly wrong.
I don't think you can use it in combat.
That would suck.
Well, what's the point of that
Not
then?
really. Not really.
No, that wouldn't suck. Yeah,
You guys
that
really
sucks.
want
I
me
don't
taking selfies in the middle of our raid instead of doing damage?
I do. I think it would be hilarious.
It's not like you do damage anyways. You're dead half the time.
Sure.
Really? Really?
Really?
I really wish the dagger still worked.
The dagger doesn't
Really
work.
wish. Because if that dagger still worked, I would just randomly pop in the middle of fights just to hear Cody scream.
I'd love his reactions too. Why are you dead again?
I would just let you sit there and
Just
say,
in the lull of the fight when nothing bad is happening, just suddenly. Just instead.
you would die, and I would say just pick up some other random dude.
Alright. So, also coming with the selfie camera.
I just tweeted out my selfie.
Oh my
I
god.
just
I
took
don't
one.
wanna look. I'll look in a minute and we can pull that up. What I was saying is Garrison Jukebox. Yay, you can have a toy that plays music.
I think this patch, they're all just catering to Xizta's obsession with toys.
They probably are.
What do you mean my obsession with toys? Yeah, it's something to stick in. I haven't actively gone around collecting them. Like, whatever I stumbled on is what I have. And if there's a holiday event that comes up that has the toy in it that I know I'm not going to be able to get until that time next year, I'll go grab it. Outside of that, I haven't gone on a hunt for toys. I really haven't.
I'm calling shenanigans.
Yeah, I call shenanigans too, but we can talk about that later. Also coming, a new mount.
A what?
With a new mount,
See?
with the heirloom
Sounded
tab,
cool.
they are putting in the chauffeured chopper, which you can use at level 1. A mount you can use at level 1, which is pretty awesome. It is rewarded for collecting all of the heirlooms.
Oh, back in my day, we didn't have mounts at level 1 to chauffeur us around to, get to place. You lazy freaking children.
In my day, we didn't have mounts at level 20 even.
And we had to shovel uphill both ways in the snow. Barefoot.
Yeah, that works. And now the big discussion point here. There are new recipes to bypass the cooldowns for Warlord's crafting professions. Right now, the recipes, for example, for leatherworking, they cost 10 raw beast hide, which is the standard leather, and 1 primal spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Hey, something else I could use Primal Spirit on.
no, but think about it for a second here. Normally, it's for leatherworking, it's a daily cooldown. You need I think it's 20 beast hides and a bunch of Gorgon fly traps and something else, and it transmutes into 4. And if you're at max rank, I think it gives you 10 a day. I'm not sure what the actual number is because I'm not max rank yet. I suck. Or you can change in 10 primal spirits for 1 burnished leather. So now this is going to be 10 and 1. I don't know. It seems like it's making it too easy to get these the soulbound materials.
It just seems crafting in general
Good.
has died this expansion.
Yeah, I kind of feel that too.
No.
Like, I don't understand the purpose of having any professions right now.
I am 50 points away from my mount for leatherworking.
Yeah, I'm close to that too.
I mean, like, okay, yeah, so your mounts, whatever. But, like, I'm just saying, like, for alchemy. You don't need alchemy on your main anymore. You don't. Put it on, like, a level 90 alt that's running around your garrison or, whatever. You don't need it. There's no point in having alchemy on your main.
Yeah, that's very
Gathering
true.
professions, herbalism, mining. What's the point of having those anymore?
I mean, we've already had that discussion. The whole gathering profession debate is like an ongoing thing with us, and to an extent, the gathering profession just needs to go away. As far as normal progressions go, or professions. I don't know. Like some of these changes that you're doing for for leatherworking, it kind of makes sense. I'm still sitting at it's like 150 pieces of leather to make my next piece of gear. Well, that takes like how many days and how many hours waiting for my garrison to produce those mats, or for me to produce those mats every 24 hours. It takes 3 weeks, which is kind of redundant in itself.
I think, yeah, it takes a while, but
I mean, even to get to craft the upgrades to your crafted gear for leatherworking. That's 150 pieces of leather. How long that takes?
I believe a follower at the leatherworking building, and if you're max leatherworking skill, 22 leathers a day. If you don't buy them for the 10 spirits.
I mean, I get like for the enchanting, you'll get the epic gems. You can only, shards, whatever they're called. You get those, which you can't get if you don't have it on your main. But like I said, you put it on alt, and it just does work orders, and that's enough. You don't need it on your main. You don't, and it's you don't get any bonuses from any of the stuff anymore. Like enchanters, we used to get the ring enchants. Jewel crafters used to get the gem. And it's just like outside of like the major crafting things for like engineering and leatherworking and those ones, you can actually craft the gear for yourself and then upgrade it. That's the big keys, upgrading it. And next patch stage 4 upgrades, which it's good, but it gives you a little more flexibility with loot because you can only have 3 of one type at a time. And if you need pants desperately, you craft the pants and put other pieces on and switch things around. That's the only real benefit we have for crafting any professions at the moment.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about all this. I don't know. Crafting was just different. I don't know.
It's in a weird position right now just because
it's so I like it, but I don't like it. It just feels empty. It feels like there's something missing from it for me. But I don't know. I doubt this change is going to help. It's going to be make it easier to get your crafted gear because it took me. I have a 670 cloak right now that I crafted, but that took me since the day I hit 100 to get. And how long has that been? A very long time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. Anyway, moving right along from that. Selfie camera stuff.
Jukebox. Don't forget there's a jukebox. That's going to be something else I got to collect. I got to collect that.
Where were you when I mentioned the jukebox 5 minutes ago?
He's taking a selfie.
I was literally taking my selfie.
Yeah, he was literally taking his selfie. Here we go. What? I don't know why Cody's thing is up in the. But just look at that selfie.
That's my selfie.
That look at that beautiful face.
So beautiful.
That's debatable.
That is debatable. But yeah, jukebox. I think there's. Why is it always when I finally get words in my mouth to speak, you do stuff like that?
Oh my god.
Because I'm the best.
Hey, you got the number wrong. It's not 50 anymore. It's 60. Get it right.
It is. It's now 60% off the frame
is
sale
it?
at Michael's. Yes.
Michael's sale is 60% off your frames now?
They one-upped it. Probably from our free advertising last week. They loved it so much they thought, let's give them a little something extra. Anyway, the jukebox toy. There are 20 different music rolls, and you can play music wherever you go. It fits in your toy box. So, I don't know how I feel about that, if that's exciting or not.
I think, how cool it would have been for this jukebox for them to allow you to put your own music into it.
So you could play Katy Perry Firework? No.
Sure, if that's your thing, I guess.
No, that's you. I'd put Miley Cyrus on. That's just me.
Oh my god.
I don't know either of you.
I can't stop. I won't stop. That would be on my Garrett on loop the whole time.
Well, when you do take a minute to stop,
and then if I took a minute to stop, I'd put my hands up because they're playing my song and the butterflies fly away.
We're going to try something new this week. This is something Dom used to do on his previous podcast before this, and I did guest host on a couple of those, so I did it too at one point. They would go through the dungeon journal and individually, dungeon by dungeon, talk about the lore of the dungeon, the bosses in it, their motivations for being there, and what else?
Just
Dom, you did it.
Little tidbits, little facts about them. And it was kind of cool because a lot of the time, people don't read the dungeon journal, so you don't know, like, you go and fight, like, the Butcher in Highmall, but you don't know why he's there.
You're pointing in the right direction, especially the dude in the freaking corner does not read the dungeon journal whatsoever.
Yeah.
The war mages have a freaking buff. You cannot pull them together within 25 yards.
You can. You
You
can pull
can't.
them together.
You
physically
can.
can pull them together. And
Yes, you
they
can.
physically will do increased damage, but
Yes.
you can damage them twice as fast, so it
No.
counterbalances itself.
It doesn't.
But regardless.
Apparently not, because we still killed Imperator on normal and cleared normal high mall without doing that.
Right, I didn't say you couldn't do it without doing it that way. It was a suggestion. That's all.
There was a terrible suggestion.
I liked it. But anyway, the twist we're going to
Don't
give...
join his side.
I'm not joining his side. I'm just moving us along here. Because you two will talk about this all night.
Talk about what?
Nothing. Anyway, the new twist we're giving to this is we're going to start with High Mall, and we're going to do a boss a week, or we do a couple bosses. Do you want?
We might as well just hammer out High Mall, and then we could do Blackrock Foundry one at a time if you want.
All right, we'll hammer out High Mall because we've
Considering
been in
Black
High
Rock-
Mall for how many weeks?
Considering reminder, BlackRock launches next week. Guess
Exactly.
what we're doing? Guess what we're doing next weekend?
I'm so happy.
We're gonna go back and raid Dragon Soul, right?
Damn straight.
Why not? We haven't done
Heroic Eltraxian all over again. What fun. Anyway, so let's start at the beginning. Kargath, Blade Fist. You're probably familiar with this version of Kargath Blade Fist if you watch the Lords of War shorts. He was a slave prisoner person of the Gorian Empire, forced to fight in the gladiator arena. Eventually, he cut his hand off to escape, slew the the emperor at that time, freed all the orc slaves, and formed the Shattered Hand clan, where initiates cut their hands off, and it's a whole lot of fun for everybody.
Yeah, and see, this is the part that frustrates me the most about him being in there in the first place, is they, held him prisoner, right? And they made him cut his arm off. He replaced it with the knife, the blade, whatever. And, he's back. Why come back after everything that happened? And I don't understand that. I don't get the logic behind that.
Well, there's some backstory in between there that happened. The ogres weren't doing so hot because of, I believe, when that happened, Kargath escaping, he killed the emperor, killed a bunch of people inside of High Mall, which was their capital city. There were a bunch of smart, can you imagine rich, noble, smart ogres living in a city? I sure as fuck can't, because apparently they're all dead now. But what happened is Imperator Margok, that's his name? I don't know why that sounds so funny. He, allied himself with the Iron Horde in order to save his empire and keep his people safe. One of the little things to note is that if he gets the chance to kill Hellscream, or to kill Grom, or turn the tables, he would take it in an instant. He is by no means loyal or happy or anything like that. This is just an alliance of convenience.
Gotcha.
And now that we, you kill him, it really doesn't matter anymore. But Kargath is there. If you look up into the stands, there's Grom, Hellscream, and Kargath watching the fight, just spectating like a whole bunch of other orcs. Like, hey, this is fun. And then when they watch the adventurers kill Volgor, he jumps in like, all right, screw this shit. This is how you fight in the gladiator arena.
Right.
So, I just want to point out something. In Blizzard's own I won't say this. Their art team keeps messing up.
All right, go on.
So when Mists of Pandaria came out and they announced the monk, they had the picture of the monk, or the art picture of the monk dual wielding pole arms, right? Did we ever get dual wielding pole arms? No. So we're gonna go here.
Are you talking about Kargath being backwards on his hand being backwards on the
We're
screen?
going here. See this? See this? This is Kargath. This is
Let me zoom in on this.
Kargath for their wallpaper, right? Let me go back to it because I obviously screwed that up. So that's his wallpaper, right?
Yeah.
Cool. You know what he actually looks like in game? Pay attention to his hand. If I go here,
We're waiting.
I'm getting there. One of these things just doesn't work out quite right. I'm just gonna say.
But the thing is, they came out and said that the art team accidentally, the promotional team is different from their in-game team and all that, and their promotional team accidentally inverted the graphic for symmetry purposes and did not realize it, and they came back and retconned that. But
Well, you're Blizzard Entertainment, and you have creative control over everything you
Cody,
do.
do you realize how screwed up your screen is right now?
Yes, I do. I'm looking at your stream.
I thought I read somewhere that they just said, "Oh yeah, the splash screen, the loading screen is they're looking in a mirror and you're seeing the mirror."
Yeah, I'm calling bullshit on that.
Yeah, well, come on. Mess ups like that happen occasionally, and as Dom said, the promotional team is different from their in-game art team.
That's just an
still,
excuse.
you would think that they would approve the graphic at some point and somebody would have noticed it.
Thank you.
It slips up, and it's the same thing that we had with Chris Metzen accidentally retconning the Draenei back in Burning Crusade. Slip-ups happen all the time. They get by people. It happens.
Woo!
It's time to wake up, Cody.
No, it's not.
Is it bad that I used that exact tone as my alarm for the longest time?
I just don't change mine.
And then I found something better. Anyway, Kargath, he's in there to show the adventurers how to properly fight in a gladiatorial arena.
Yeah.
And then we kill him, and he is the 100th kill.
I like
he was promised.
Yeah, I like the Butcher, though. The Butcher says that the ogre may have once had a proper name, but it's long forgotten, abused and beaten from his earliest days. The hardship only strengthened his body, even as they broke his mind. Now there's not an ogre in High Mall who will not give him a wide berth as he hacks at the slaughtered carcasses to pass his days. He's just like so obscure, but like apparently he was some kind of guy that was important at some point and is now some menial butcher.
Yeah. I mean, you
So-
think about it. Half the bosses you've in raids, the Deathwing is going to be the big bad end boss of Dragon Soul. Okay, who the hell are the other 7 people? Well,
Right.
the other 6 people there. Never heard of them before. Well, maybe
Right.
some.
So I just want to point out something. I'm going to go back to Kargath for a couple seconds.
Right on back to Kargath.
Yeah, sorry. If you played in the beta and did raid testing during the beta, at the end of the Kargath fight, he didn't die. His fist or his blade fell off his hand and he ran out of the arena. In live, you actually kill him.
I'm guessing.
Good riddance.
I'm guessing that was just their subtle way to, not give away the lore of everything before.
I don't think they completely had the story fleshed out either, because if they're gonna do the animation and take all that time to develop
yeah, I was
the
gonna say-
blade falling off of his hand and all that,
Good point.
then it's probably they had a different direction for where they were going, and then realized that's probably not the best way. They don't have anything really meaningful for him later on, so they just killed him there.
All right, that works for me. Yeah.
Okay, you can go back to Butcher and his, meat grinder and his puny, whatever, they're crunchy
Well, the butcher,
bits.
he's an optional boss, so you technically don't even have to do him, much like Brackenspore and Tectus.
Yeah,
Those are optional too, though. You don't even have to do those.
the only.
That's what I said.
Exactly. Yeah. Kargath, Twins, Karag, and the Imperator. They're the only 4 mandatory bosses.
Yep.
So
With there only being one gear check, and that's Butcher.
yeah, Butcher is the gear check. He was our 5th heroic kill.
Which is shocking.
And it's an easy fight to grasp. There's no real complicated mechanics or anything like that. It is just a raw damage and healing challenge. Straight up. I mean, it's a slightly more complicated patchwork if you think about it. Because one little screw up and that's it. Dead. Raids wiped.
It is. But the thing that I enjoyed that we came up with the Butcher, instead of having the ranged move in and out, we actually made 3 melee groups, and that way we'd lost no DPS on that. So
Yeah, and we did that Saturday night, and it worked. wonders, actually. So.
Did it Friday night. I was there for that.
Oh yeah, and
We did it Saturday on normal. But we did it on heroic on Friday.
We did it on heroic, and that worked out so well. Because then, the range don't have to worry about moving, because some range don't like moving to do damage. That's a DPS loss. And just gave us more uptime on melee. And I was going to mention something about Butcher, and I forgot what it was. Oh yeah, he's just a gigantic, Lord of the Rings shout-out. Every single one of his quotes.
Yep.
Give it to us raw and wiggly and kill somebody.
I just got that.
You really? Okay, hold on. I gotta pull up his quotes. Let's see. Yeah, so juicy. Give it to us raw and wiggling. And then if the raid wipes, looks like meat's back on the menu. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember Sam's quote for this stupid potato.
Outside of the butcher...
Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew?
Yeah, boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew.
Outside of the butcher, the other two optional bosses felt extremely misplaced. Like, Tectus.
That's... I don't know how to describe Tectus. Brakenspore is a
He's a
pure
mountain
mechanics
that
fight.
Well,
that
Tectus
moves.
says he's an ancient embodiment of the chaotic forces that shape the terrain of Draenor. Tectus has been twisted and enslaved by the maddened pale orcs, who themselves barely make control over his imposing force of nature. So he's basically just the embodiment of Draenor. He's literally the terrain of Draenor, the earth, and we get these pale orcs that are running around that we've seen, leveling up through this whole expansion, and they're trying to maintain control over them, and they can barely do it. So I don't even know how he got into Heimdall in the first place.
Okay, here's some story backing. Once you kill Kargath, Cho'Gall escapes from his jail cell, which is right below the gladiator pit.
You don't notice that when you go up.
Right, yeah. If you don't notice it when you walk in, there's Cho'Gall on a cage right behind the elevator. So he breaks out, attacks Heimdall with his pale orcs that are under his control, and all hell's breaking loose. You're assaulting Heimdall, Cho'Gall's assaulting Heimdall, and they're trying to defend it. Tectus, I'm guessing, just got summoned in.
Okay, so by the pale orcs, yeah,
by the
they
pale
brought him.
orcs. They brought him in, I'm guessing, as a giant battering ram. What else is he good for?
That makes sense.
So I'm gonna apologize in advance for this.
Uh-oh.
Because talking about Tectus and Draenor had got me thinking. There's a movie coming out, I can't remember the name of it, that has to deal with time travel and stuff like that.
Project Atlas?
Something like that. Or Almanac, or whatever. I don't remember.
Almanac. Project Almanac.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, the whole premise of it was, whatever happened in the future, like, their warning was, made by them in the past, by them in the future, right? So, whatever they did in the past, and they warned themselves in the future, don't do this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
What if, in our timeline, like I said, I apologize for this. Our timeline, Draenor's blown up, right? And destroyed.
Yeah.
What if we're the cause of that in this timeline? Since Draenor's, fully together and stuff like that, what if we're actually the cause of it in our timeline?
Oh, you mean in this timeline?
Yeah, kind of like we're the cause of Draenor exploding, of Exodar crashing. We're all the reason all of it happened.
I think that would make sense if this was not an alternate universe. If this was our...
But what if that's Blizzard just tricking us, and it actually is the biggest twist in the game?
It's not, because we already know that Garrosh was never born in this timeline.
And there's a variety of other... minor differences.
I do. I love that, Cody. That's honestly, that is my favorite style of time travel when it's addressed like that. That is my all-time favorite, is no matter what you do to try to prevent the future, you end up causing it. You are the reason why it happened. That is my favorite version, hands down, of time travel.
Just let this go. It's going to happen.
Unfortunately, that does not mesh well with alternate timeline universe.
That's
time
just
travel.
Blizzard's excuse to say that it's not.
I can see it happening even in this parallel universe. In Khadgar's attempt, because Khadgar believes Gul'dan is more dangerous than the entire Iron Horde right now.
So I got to that.
Yeah, well, anyway, in Gul'dan's, in Khadgar's quest to slay Gul'dan and stop him, Khadgar winds up destroying this Draenor.
Mm-hmm.
That I could see happening.
I still don't. I still kind of agree with Xizta. Like last week, he had said Gul'dan had called out Khadgar in quotations.
Yeah, Khadgar?
That's got me kind of.
I'm 100% sure. I'm 100% sure. There's not even a sliver of a doubt anymore that Rathian is Khadgar.
I'm 100% sure that this isn't Khadgar. Whether I'm 100% it's Rathian,
let's go with that then. If this isn't Khadgar, where's Khadgar?
dead for all we know.
So Rathian killed Khadgar and took his place.
Could have.
I mean,
what's he gonna do? Imprison him? Khadgar's too powerful for that. He killed him.
there's also a little bit. If you notice, Khadgar is wielding Medivh's staff, Atish, or however you pronounce it, which was last in the possession of Medan, who... So, how did he come into possession of this staff? Maybe he killed Medan and, well, that would be difficult.
Yeah, I did notice that, actually. I was like, there's Atish, it's right there, and that's, Medivh, and then it passed down to Medan, and I kind of dismissed it real quick, but yeah, Medan was the last wielder of that we knew of.
But, yeah... Something's very fishy.
So did Rathian dispatch both of them?
I don't know. I just think it...
Because we know Rathian has been in this timeline. If you went into the garrison, Admiral Taylor's garrison, and you read through, there's a journal you find on the ground in one of the quests or whatever, you see Rathian was here and he's up to something, and we don't know what it was. We've seen no sign of him. And it's just Khadgar giving us legendary stuff. It's
just like Rathian did.
The last two expansions, Cataclysm, he gave it to the rogues. This one, Pandaria, he gave us the cloak. And this, well, it's him. It's him.
I like that it's him. And if it's not him, he is definitely doing some kind of, trickery. I wouldn't be surprised if Rathian was, the last boss of this entire expansion. Because they already said Grom Hellscream is not.
We have in chat Total Deletion saying that Medan is stronger than Rathian. I do not disagree with you. I do not disagree with you.
That.
However, I 100% believe that Rathian is smarter than Medan.
He is conniving.
Well, if he had already killed Khadgar before he had killed Medan, he probably just turned into Khadgar and tricked him and then killed him.
Yeah.
As Kargath.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see. Anyway, moving back to where what we were talking about.
Yeah, sorry about my timeline.
That's cool.
Rant.
It, brought up,
it's gonna happen. We're the reason.
It brought up a good point. So back to what we were doing. Heimol, Brackenspore. His motivation... The giant mushroom monster. His motivation for being there is to kill things. He doesn't care what it is. Anyway, the dungeon journal entry for him says, the Iron Horde juggernaut, moored in the waters beside Heimol, big boat, if you haven't noticed, drew the attention of Brackenspore, ancient walker of the deep. The aquatic giant spreads fungal growth and moss in his wake, and is driven by primal instinct to eradicate any traces of civilization on Draenor.
Yeah, and you could even see the Iron Horde is dealing with Brackenspore when you come in. They got the flamethrowers going. They're fighting off Brackenspore. They're fighting off the plants. They're making no progress.
These flamethrowers are useless.
Technically, by us going in there and dispatching Brackenspore, we're helping them. But since we're sieging the place as well, we're just making sure that we don't get overtaken in the meantime. So
there we go.
An optional boss.
That works. Think about it. You got Kargath in your way. Then you go in. Here's Butcher. He's in the, a pit. He's in, like, the underbelly or whatever they call it.
With Mike Tyson's tigers.
Yeah, everybody's ignoring him. So then you got Brackenspore, who is sieging Heimol from the water just because he noticed an Iron Horde boat. Then you got Tectis, who's being brought in by Cho'Gall and his forces. So technically, they're optional.
Stood a chance.
They're optional because they're not part of Heimol.
Right.
They're just there, sieging the place at the same time you are.
And the butcher just wants to cook.
And the butcher just wants to cook.
Just stay out of his way.
Yeah, just leave him down there. He wants to cut up some, meat and stuff like that. Make a lovely, steak something or other.
Yep.
Steak tartare. I don't think he cooks anything.
Yep.
So, that's Brackenspore. Now...
Then after that we have the twin Ogron. We have Pol and Phemos guarding the entrance to the Gorthanon? Top High Mall. The Gorthanon. Top High Mall. Pol and Phemos are the personal guard of Imperator Margok, peerless in strength and determination. What these Ogron brothers lack in intelligence, they make up with sheer size and brute force. They are definitely some of the biggest Goron or Ogron, Goron, fucking Zelda, Ogron that we've encountered. I mean, there's some that are bigger, but those are technically sons of Grohl, the ones that are bigger, right?
The Grons are sons of,
Right. So they're not.
Grohl's a Gron, they're sons of Gron.
They seem very similar.
These are half-breeds.
Right. So these seem like the biggest two that we've actually come in contact with.
All right. Omikins and I, my wife, we were talking about our favorite fight in Heimel, and we both agree that twins just, for some reason...
It's because it's the easiest fight. You just
not because
dodge shit.
Not because it's the easiest, just because of the way... I mean, yeah, it is a really easy fight, but just the way the mechanics come at you, it, staggered in different times. Like the second pulverize, it's like,
well, if you
all right,
can't
everybody
dance,
get the hell up. Yeah, it's like, get away so we don't die from everybody taking pulverized damage. Okay, now stack up so the enfeebling roar doesn't kill everybody. Okay, now get the hell out of there so pulverize doesn't kill us again.
Yeah.
But it's just a fun fight.
You could dance if you want to.
And you can leave your friends behind. Also, fun fact.
But they'd probably die.
See, I wish we had more stuff that, because like you said, we have everything. Their abilities are all on a timer. So let's say that this one's on a 90-second timer, then one of their other abilities on like a 45-second timer. So they're gonna end up coming to you at different times. One's gonna end up coming sooner than the next, or sometimes they're gonna overlap. I would like to see dynamic boss encounters though, where depending on how you're doing things, if you change your strategy, if you do something, that the bosses react to the way you're doing things. I think it was EverQuest 2 used to do stuff like that. Like if you would have a certain amount of damage, the boss would enrage faster than it typically would normally on attempts like that. I'd like to see more dynamic and have the bosses adjust to how you're playing instead of us adjusting to the way the bosses play.
That would be...
Didn't Blizzard come out and say something along the lines of that? Because they were like... It wasn't really along the lines of that, but it was like making the bosses too smart because they were saying... I think it was probably Ghostcrawler maybe. He's like, if we wanted to make the bosses in raids like super smart, all they'd do is go attack the healers. You'd have no healers left, and then you really wouldn't have a raid group anymore. He's
right.
like, so what's the point of that?
That's the unreasonable way to do it. But there's a middle ground you could do, and it's something that you could even do on like heroic difficulty and have that be like the difference between what normal and heroic are, because there's really not any difference between mechanics right now when it comes to that. And then you could also have that feature carry over into Mythic, but Mythic has those extra mechanics on top of it. So I think just having some kind of differentiation between normal and heroic would be good, and that might be the way to do it.
I mean, yeah, right now it's just bigger numbers and tighter berserk timers. I mean, that's the hardest part of Butcher is a 5-minute berserk.
Yeah.
And then you got Tectis is 10 minutes. I think Twins is 8 or 9 minutes. But with such huge health pools and worrying about mechanics, that's not a lot of time. Also, I like that they're named after Greek myth. Pol and Phemos, named after Polyphemus, one of Poseidon's children, one of the Cyclopses.
So does that mean Neptulon is coming back?
I don't know.
That's the hard thing about trying to guess where they're going to go with this, because you can't really take anything in this timeline and put it into any general kind of context, because technically Ragnaros and all of them are still alive in this timeline, and
This is their excuse to bring Illidan back. This is all it is.
It really is. When it comes down to it, it boils down. This is their way to get Illidan back in the game.
We're gonna get stuck in this timeline, and that just gives them the perfect excuse to go. Oh, Illidan never died. You never killed him. He's back. But this time he's good. And you're just like,
Do we even know
Okay.
that this timeline's Azeroth is still...
No, we had this discussion on. We had a big discussion about this on our what was it? Conspiracy Craft 8.5 episode. I'm still positive. I'm not positive, but I'm still I and believe in the theory that our Azeroth is not even sundered.
Oh,
Or this Azeroth, I should say, is not sundered. I think
could
it's
be.
still one continent. So
Or-
I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that play out at some point.
or it could be a desolate wasteland because the old gods succeeded and took over.
Hmm.
Or anything like that. Anyway, next boss. Karag. Another ogre.
Shocking.
Yeah. He's the only ogre to survive direct exposure to a mysterious relic, this is Dungeon Journal stuff, unearthed by the High Mall excavations of Nagrand, and was left with a near-complete immunity to all magic. Rumors abound regarding his connection to the Imperator. I don't know which way it's
Imperator.
pronounced.
Imperator.
With some wondering why Karag would remain subservient to a sorcerer despite his unique gifts.
Now
What-
the big question here is, what is this mysterious relic?
It's a gigantic rock floating above the chamber.
Right. But what is it?
Well, it's possible. I mean,
Does it matter
Yes.
I mean,
right now?
if you
At the
look-
moment, no, but I think it's going to come up.
during the Margok encounter, you notice that there's 3 big stones in the room, and that's where he draws his power from. I'm assuming that this stone is something similar.
This just has Old God written all over it to me.
And oh god, we'll get into that when we get into Margok. But yeah, he's just a ogre who can. He's an ogre sorcerer who happens to be immune to magic,
Yep.
which is kind of awesome for him, I guess.
But he's not, because you have to bring magic dealers to the raid to actually get his shield down.
Right, you have to overload him with magic energy to bring down the barrier he has. They said it was a near immunity to magic. Near. Anyway, moving on to the final boss. The Sorcerer King, Imperator Margok. A powerful ogre mage who rules the Gorian Empire. Dungeon journal entry. As the Grand Emperor... I hate it. I want to say Imperator, but you guys have called it Imperator all this time. I don't know what is right anymore. As the Grand What's-His-Face of Highmall, Margok is descended from a long line of sorcerers who have ruled the Gorian Empire. Equal parts cunning and brutality, Margok recognized the rising tide of the Iron Horde and what it would mean to oppose them. He is acquiesced to an alliance with Gramash, even as he continues to search for a way to tip the balance of power back into his favor.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't he die in the short that they showed of Kargath?
No, that was a different emperor. That was the
Yes.
previous emperor.
Oh, okay.
Now, in Mythic, right, don't we see... What's his face? Cho'Gall in this
That's
fight?
what I was going to get to. Now, when you fight him, as the fight goes along, he channels energy from these runes, these big rune stones, and it gives him, increased power. Now, I'm assuming that's the same thing Karag used. On Mythic, when you get, him down to a certain health threshold, Cho'Gall pops in through a portal and says, and there's the quote from the fight, "You know nothing of the power you meddle with, Margok," and the other head, "It calls to us, we know its power will be ours." He ensnares Margok, kills him, and then says, "We have long waited for this moment. The true power of the stone shall be realized at last." And then the other head, "None shall survive. We shall be the unmaking. Destroy them. Wash over this world."
Right.
So Cho'Gall knows what these things are and knows how to use them.
I'd
Okay.
say it has Old God written all over it.
Yeah, I have to agree.
And the fact that it was dug up into Grand, right? And then we just had this quest chain, right? That we just completed the Garrison campaign, where we get the heart of some guy. It's actually one of the Sons of Grohl, I think it is.
Mhm.
Who's frozen in stone, out in what's that zone? Gorgon. Yeah. And then, we have to defeat him there, but I was under the impression this whole time that was an Old God's heart. And then when we finally got to see the end of the quest chain, in fact, it was not. So I was like, where is the old god? And now that they're doing this thing with Nagrand, and they're digging, it said it was from an excavation in Nagrand, and then we have Tectus, who's like embodiment of the earth, and we have all these things like right around Highmall, like in Nagrand coming out, like, and then we know that there's going to be an island just south of Nagrand coming in at some point, which technically is not Nagrand, but it's close enough by proximity that
It's the ogres continent, as they
right.
call it.
So the fact that I don't know, the fact that the ogres are in both places kind of leads me to believe that at one point somewhere ages ago that the two land masses were connected, and the island probably just broke off at some point.
That's possible.
But
Also, just something else with Cho'Gall here. As if when you kill him, he says, he comes, and then the other head says, you can never escape. Who is he?
I don't know.
Then the silence, yeah.
I don't know. That is a good question.
Killing me. Trying to figure all this crap out. I have no idea. I'm like a moderate lore buff. I'm not exactly,
I mean, because Cho'Gall, through the whole kind of encounter, he keeps talking about these eternal darkness that's going to be coming, and soon it will wash over the world, and so there's something bigger here, and outside of like an old god, I don't know what kind of darkness he could be referring to.
Sargeras.
I feel like giving us Sargeras in an alternate timeline is just ridiculous.
That's the question I brought up to Missy, and I don't know did we even get a straight answer out of that one. Do the Titans transcend the timelines? Because the Bronze Dragonflight, as we know, they know of alternate timelines, and they can shift between them if they're,
right, and
they
their
wish.
power was given by a
Titan. So one could extrapolate from that the Titans are capable of shifting through
themselves.
parallel universes and timelines. So in the multiverse of, this, as we'll call it, is there one Sargeras, and he's in the Twisting Nether, and he could just be summoned into whatever dimension they want?
Right, so I think the best way that we're going to get an answer out of that is cheap plug. There will be a Titans versus Old God novel coming out very soon. That has been announced. That we're going to get a lot of backstory on the history of this war between the two factions. So I think we'll get a lot more answers then.
All right. That works for me. I would love some more answers about that. Anyway, that I guess is that. Covered Highmall and the lore of such, the bosses and things like that.
And then we crammed a lot in this week, but I think from here on forth we'll end up going a boss a week or something like that out of Bake Rock Flowery.
Yeah, Bake Rock Flowery. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we figured
the butcher's coming back. He's gonna bake us some pies or something.
Butchers don't bake. Oh, butcher. Okay, I'm not saying that all butchers don't bake. Butchers are capable of baking. I'm just saying that as a profession, a butcher is not going to bake many
Well, okay,
things.
then maybe we'll see his friend, the baker, and the candlestick maker.
You're muted while you're ranting over there?
I'm yelling.
Oh, okay. Anyway, here's the storm stuff. If you're interested, because it's right in front of me. What?
Why wouldn't you be interested?
No. In this little tidbit, the free hero rotation for this week is Lily, Elite Tauren Chieftain, Arthas, Kerrigan, Uther, Tychus, and the Witch Doctor.
God, Tychus.
Oh, I should mention I finally lost my first Hero League game today. My winning streak has come to an end.
What are you, like 0-1 now?
No, I'm 8-1. Anyway.
Oh, that 8's not an 8, it's an O.
Yeah.
You know the little, how they, 8s, the little cross, the little in the middle. That's just an O.
Mm-hmm.
0. It's defining a 0. Between an O and a 0, you got that line. That's all it's doing.
We could just combine two zeros and get infinity.
hate you guys.
Yeah. Well, that would help him in the long run.
Or you could just divide by 0.
Doesn't work.
Either.
Lunar Festival is the next holiday thing in Heroes. And
Stop changing our subject.
I'm changing the subject as much as I like. Is putting themed skins in for 2 heroes, Chen and Lily.
Mm-hmm.
Because they need more skins, both of them, apparently.
Okay, I got a kind of
They
an
don't have
issue. Well, no, it's fine. Why wouldn't you give a lunar skin to, say, Tyrande,
Because she already had... Her base skin is...
Illidan,
Okay, maybe Illidan, but look at...
Malfurion?
Tyrande is Priestess of the Moon. Her base skin is lunar-based.
I don't care.
Trying to take a
Create
drink
something
here.
Else. I don't care. You've got 3 Night Elves that, this lunar festival is based off of, and you don't give them skins, you give them to pandas.
They have plenty of time.
They do.
I don't
Plenty
care.
of time.
No, this should have been.
Do you
this
not
been
think
the first
that every year there's going to not be a new Lunar Festival skin?
Of course
there will be.
They do it in League all the time.
This should have been the first. Night Elf should have been the first to get it.
They'll probably save it. And also, okay, so there's Elder Chen and Festival Lily. Those are the 2 skins. Now there's 2
They're,
bundles.
what, $10 a piece though, the skins, if
They're
you buy
$10
them individually?
Yeah, they're $10 a piece. Now there's 2 bundles. There is the Lunar Festival Complete Bundle, which is $33, and that is Chen and Elder Chen. Chen the hero and the skin, Elder Chen.
Okay.
Lily the hero and Festival Lily, and the Lunar Tiger mount.
Wait, there's a mount?
There's a mount, and it is a tiger, and it's just awesome. And then there's the Lunar Festival Skin Bundle, which is $22.50.
I don't want to buy another bundle.
I know. I mean, the bundles are worth it because the 2 skins are together $20. You get the Festival Skin Bundle. You pay $2.50 more, and you get a mount.
Can
And
I?
2 skins.
Can I just buy the mount?
Not
Nope.
as of yet, and it seems as if you won't be able to. I want that mount.
Just like the battle bundle mount, you can't buy that without buying the bundle, and just like the magic carpet,
And
can't-
the Golden
can't-
Wolf.
And the
that's
Founders
that's
Day.
that's the battle bundle.
Yeah, and the Founders Pack. You can't get that other wolf.
I thought you were
That's,
talking about
the founders pack is the battle bundle.
No, there's another bundle called
No,
Battle
it's
Bundle.
not.
No, Cody's right. They're the same thing.
It's the same thing.
The Battle Bundle is...
There is a BattleNet bundle or something that covers the 3 different franchises that has a mount that you can't get elsewhere either.
That is.
I forget the name of that bundle. But
That was
right.
that was the rainbow mount.
No, no. There's currently one still in the game.
I don't remember.
No,
I was just looking at it today.
it's the battle bundle, and that's the same one that the founders get. It's the one that if you're already in beta and you don't want to obviously buy the founders pack, it's the battle bundle. It comes with the golden Mechano wolf.
Yeah, all right. I don't remember these, so I'll take your words for it, both of you. Anyway, 10 game. Also, play 10 games between January 27th, which is now. Is that today? That's today, and March 3rd, and you will be rewarded with the Lunar Festival portrait.
Okay, I still haven't got my alpha portrait. When am I gonna get this portrait?
Probably
As
in
soon
July.
as you play those 10 games.
Or so it seems. As soon as you play
Yes,
those 10
I'm
games.
done.
So, your thoughts? What do you think on how the beta is going so far?
I like the fact that they're doing some stuff with the holidays now. Like they focused on getting the heroes. They're still at a really good pace for releasing heroes. It's still I'm very happy with the pace of which the heroes are coming out, and the fact that they're still able to work in some content for these events and stuff is actually really cool. So.
I agree. It's pretty awesome. Cody? You've been playing the crap out of Thrall since the beta released. Enough games to get level 10.
Yes, I did finally hit my master thrall, so now I've got Solomon Grundy.
So now maybe you can play something else?
I've got Solomon Grundy going around beating people over the face with a hammer. No, and I'm not playing anything else. Thrall's my man.
Until they nerf him into the ground and you're like, fuck this.
They're not nerfing him. I had that confirmed.
I just booted up Heroes real quick to look, and the mount I was referring to was in the what is called the Battle Bundle, and
That's
has
that's the
golden
founder. Yes,
the golden Cyberwolf.
the founder's pack.
It's called the Battle Bundle in game.
It's called the battle bundle in game when you've already got the access.
And then there's what, the Armored Steed, is that the other one?
That
Yeah.
comes. That's the Nexus starter pack or whatever.
The Armored Steed is another one that you can't buy separately.
Yeah, and moving along here, yeah, I mean, thoughts on the beta, and then
I miss my weekend XP bonus.
I miss it too.
I didn't.
That's something that's not in the game right now, which kind of shocked me. Which I guess is kind of okay because in the long run, they're getting rid of. We're in beta now. We're not in alpha, so there's no real need to push players through the levels quickly
I think they
or
took
quicker than normal.
Didn't they take it out when they put stim packs in?
Probably.
I think they did.
That would have
actually.
made sense. That would have made sense.
Yep.
Considering I keep buying stim packs. Damn you, Blizzard.
Damn you indeed. So, beta's
Well, and
going...
even okay. I'm going to talk about stim packs.
God, go on.
You buy a stim pack, you get a bonus to your experience gained and a bonus towards gold gained in matches. I think they need to take one step further and make it a dynamic stim pack to where if you hit 40, that stim pack no longer gives you a okay, now that I think that kind of would make sense. It would make sense. It would. This version would make sense if you didn't gain experience with heroes. If you hit level 40, you instead of getting XP bonus, it would increase your gold gain by a little bit more. But since you get experience for heroes, this impact the way it works right now is fine because you get added experience to your heroes as well.
Right.
All right, which cuts down...
So no, I'm thinking out loud again.
That's all right. Yeah, it cuts down on the time it would take to get to level 10, which is almost worth it because that could be a grind.
And then don't forget they're also doing those weekly sales right now for heroes as well. Where
Yeah, I forgot they started doing that.
everything it started now with the closed beta or whatever, and every Monday they reset and you have 7 days or whatever. And I know this week is Tassadar, and I think he's like 350 or something like that. And then there's a Zeratul skin and the Medic Uther skin or whatever.
Right.
I think all those are half off. So
And
that goes until the 2nd of
February, yeah.
February. Yeah. So
Now-
See, even go ahead though.
This would be the only time I would buy that Zeratul skin, High Templar Zeratul, because it's just a recolor, really.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nothing special.
It's a very minimal skin, but it looks... I mean, some people might prefer that look, and it would be pretty cool. So, if you were thinking about it, now's the time. It's $250. It's as cheap as it's gonna be.
when it comes down to recolors and stuff like that, it's really just a matter of preference. It's the same thing like why you would take normal high mall gear over heroic high mall gear over mythic or whatever. It's recolorations,
Yeah, when we're in the next expansion and mythic isn't uber eye levels higher than. Right now, you would take mythic gear because it's mythic gear.
I'm talking about transmog.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
With this weekly sale, I'm glad they're finally popping in. Hey, we're gonna start doing these sales to drop hero prices down. The one thing that I would really like them to start doing is also add it to the gold price of the heroes, not just the real money price. That way, Thrall's 15,000 gold.
It's 10 now.
Drop it just a little bit. I mean, I understand why they want because they're trying to make money
sync
off of it, but
well, it's not just the money. They need a gold sync in the game. If they're going to give you free currency, they can't just start putting everything on sale and put that on rotation because everybody will have everything in no time.
well, that's the point. Everybody's gonna have everything in no time, anyways.
Yeah.
Not for free though.
I don't know.
The way gold rate
no,
works in this game
I-
right now,
I've got-
it's
I've
not
got that
easy to
counter.
get everything.
I've got that counter. Fine. You're giving away the heroes for free. You're making money off the skins and off the bundles.
Right. No, I don't disagree with you there, but they still they want that frustration moment of you're not caught up on all your heroes yet. New hero comes out, it's released. You don't have a stockpile of gold to buy it the day it comes out. So you know what? You're gonna spend money on it. You're gonna get.
Well,
that
yeah, you're gonna spend money on it anyways because it's already in a bundle with one of the skins.
Yeah, the
So people are gonna buy it with
No, because if you have a stockpile of 100,000 gold,
yeah,
let's just say you have Thrall comes out for what was he 30,000, 15,000 something?
it's 15.
15, right? Let's say his and let's say how much was it to buy Thrall by himself?
in the bundle.
No,
Wait,
by
the-
himself.
The hero call.
$5, $10, 10, 15, 12 bucks.
And
10,
then his
15.
skin is what, $5? So let's say
All skins are like 10.
okay, so then let's say it was $15 to buy Thrall as the bundle. You know, would you rather spend $15 on the Thrall bundle to get the hero and the skin, or would you rather just buy the skin for $10 and get the Thrall with your gold? There's no reason why I would spend five more dollars for no reason.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly it. Aside from the one bundle when it came out, I haven't actually spent real money for a hero.
I always buy the new heroes just because it's bundled with the skin.
Yeah.
Right. If I really like the skin and I think it's, I might consider getting the bundle, but that hasn't happened yet.
Yep.
It's bound to happen as the game goes on. There'll probably be that skin released with a new hero that I just can't resist.
The one thing I'm just
Like
worried about is
Hellhammer
if they're
Thrall?
gonna.
I resisted.
I'm just worried if they're gonna start pumping out all these mounts for every holiday now. Like, am I gonna have to buy a bundle every holiday that comes around? Like, I already bought the Christmas one. Now I have to buy the lunar one. And are they gonna squeeze out a Valentine's Day one?
See, that's the one thing I don't like. All these mounts in the bundles, and you have to get the bundle.
Yeah.
Make a standalone mount. I mean,
No, I like it.
I like it now
Personally,
because I don't
I like
have
it.
heroes. But
No,
when it
no,
gets to the point that I have the heroes, and then the heroes that I already have are paired with a mount that I don't have, and I have to buy the whole bundle just to get that mount, that's when it's going to get ridiculous.
It totally makes sense. They started it with Winter's Veil. You can't get the reindeer mount anymore.
You will
it's-
next Winter's Veil, though.
Yes, exactly. And you'll be able to get the mount from the Lunar Festival next year when it comes out.
Right, but I'm saying, what if you already have those heroes at the time? You don't get a discount on the bundle for having the heroes already. So
No, but the heroes aren't going to be the same for next Lunar Festival, so it doesn't matter.
you don't know that.
They're not going to put the same hero skins and out. They may put the skins, but not the heroes.
I have a feeling that next Lunar Festival will get the skins, like the old legacy skins, as they'll call them at that point, or that's what Lee calls them, I think now. We'll
Or
get
you just
those
won't see them.
skins, or we may not see them at all. Maybe we won't see them for another 2 or 3 Lunar Festivals, but they're definitely going to have new ones next year. And I mean, because it's beta right now, I can't see them doing that whole not gonna see the skins next Lunar Festival because the game hasn't released yet. Not everybody's playing it.
Right.
Once the game releases, then I could easily see them saying, these mounts are only available for this Lunar Festival and will probably never be available ever again, so buy them now. And then 5 years down the road, they're like, yeah, we're releasing these skins again.
Yeah, I think this year, let's theorize this one. Heroes won't come out of beta till next year.
I agree. I
That'd be
100% agree on that.
This
I don't
year-
think any of these bundles are going to change.
No, all the bundles that come out this year for Winter's Veil, Lunar Festival, the Fire Festival for summertime, whether they do
Valentine's Day, all that crap.
whether they're doing for Valentine's Day and
I
Easter
don't
and stuff
think they
like
are
that.
going to do anything because technically, in WoW, right? What is I'm going to have to look at right now because I'm in game. They moved Lunar Festival. Lunar Festival used to be in January, right? But Lunar Festival doesn't actually start until February 16th now. The Love is in the Air, the Valentine's Day, begins Monday the 2nd and ends the 15th. Ends the 16th. It ends the same day that Lunar Festival starts. So they moved that now. So if Lunar Festival, yeah, it's going on right now in Heroes, but if it's moved that way, and when does it end? When does this bundle end for?
March 3rd, I believe.
Okay, so yeah, and it ends March 2nd in Warcraft. So
Yeah, it's March 3rd.
Okay, so they
I don't
may
think
not
they're going to do Valentine's this year.
they may not do a Valentine's Day one, but it gives them an option for next year to do something different. But this year they're going to start pumping out different bundles for different holidays. Obviously,
Yeah, I think they're
they're
just
going to
gonna
get
hit
that
the big
set.
ones. I
Well,
think
I
they're
mean,
just gonna hit the big holidays right now because we have Lunar Festival, and then we get Noble Garden Children's Week. I don't expect to see anything in Heroes for Children's Week.
I really doubt
no,
it.
I
that's
think
that's
we
a,
may. It's a possibility. May see something for Noble Garden, but I wouldn't count on that one either.
that's
But the
true.
next big one is Midsummer Fire Festival. I can almost
Yep.
guarantee we're gonna get something for that.
We're gonna get
And,
people on fire.
and
Yeah,
then something you'll see something for probably Halloween, and then something for Thanksgiving, and then boom, we're back.
Brewfest.
And then possibly Brewfest, maybe not even Halloween, but Brewfest. But then we're
Uh,
back. But
they're
then
100% gonna do Halloween. There's no way. There's just way too many good skins that they could do for Halloween to give that up. They're probably
He's right.
skinning those right now.
well, they've already done
They
it.
probably have.
They did it
Halloween
last
skins
year.
already.
I'm gonna call this
But
right
they
now
did do
and
it
say
last
that
year.
we're gonna get 3 different bundles for Halloween. I think that's their
There
biggest.
are already the Halloween skins in the game.
They've already got the Halloween
Big
bundles.
Top Gazlowe, was he a
Right.
Halloween skin? No, Skeletor, the skeleton Abathur, that was a Halloween skin.
I think
And
we're gonna
then,
get 3 bundles, 6 heroes with skins. Is what I'm
Bridesmaid
calling
for
for right now for this Hollow set.
Right, Countess
Yeah,
Kerrigan.
Countess Kerrigan. But this year is going to be all about getting their bundles and their cycle set up for these bundles for the holidays. And then next year, when say beta goes, or the game goes live in December, which I'm just throwing out a date there because that just kind of makes sense with the Winter's Veil. Now you've got Winter's Veil bundle showing back up, so now you can get the reindeer mount and
Right.
Winter Jaina and Winter Rhaegar and stuff like that. Well, now they're just gonna the next year is just gonna be a re-release of
Yeah.
previous
maybe
and maybe they do like maybe they don't maybe they have 2 bundles next Winter's Veil, like, oh, here's the 2014, like if you weren't in beta, here's the 2014 bundle at a discounted price.
Now here's Santa
Here
Claus.
and here's the
Oh,
2015 bundle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean that's an option that they can go with.
I'm really glad that they're doing this, but they need to do this in Hearthstone. That's what they did. They need to start moving the holidays into Hearthstone. That's what I want to see more than anything.
And I have a feeling you're going to see that as Hearthstone moves along.
Maybe.
And more than likely, I can't see them not doing it. Blizzard has always liked to do fun, whimsical
I can
things.
see boards, but not, and maybe card backs. But as far as like,
I want to see one-off encounters. Like,
The Headless Horseman,
yeah.
and yeah,
What's that dog that's out in Moonglade?
Moonfang.
for the
No,
Winter
that-
Festival,
Not the Dark Moon Fair. The one out in Moonglade.
it's dark. I
Oh
know what you're
yeah,
talking about.
the reskinned Corehound. Yeah,
Yeah, put him in Hearthstone as a boss and kill him, get his card. That's it. Is that difficult to code? Yeah, it would. All that's gonna really take is balance.
yeah.
That's
And
really
You mentioned Hearthstone, and it was data mined and leaked that the Lunar New Year event is in Hearthstone. So far, it's just audio strings that have been data mined, but
there's strings. So there's not even audio files. It's just strings.
Yeah, there's stuff there for it, and it's possible it'll be dropped on it, and maybe that's why they delayed the Lunar Festival this year across all games, so they can get it ready for all of the games and slap it on at once.
That is a big possibility. We really need that because as it stands right now in Hearthstone, we have the adventures, right? And we've seen one. We have no clue when the next one is coming. It took 6 months from the launch of the game to get our first adventure in. 6 months later, we get our first expansion. So every 6 months to see any kind of new content other than card backs is a little discouraging. So to have some kind of filler content in, even if it's a one-off boss thing here and there,
I'd like it.
it'd be nice.
Anyway, one more thing to mention for Heroes that's got me really, really excited, and probably gonna have my wife squeak for joy because she loves this character. There was a tweet from John Hodgson, one of developers on Heroes of the Storm. I can't tell you all much more about Sylvanas other than that she's awesome and does stuff that could be considered cheating. So here's the question from that: is Sylvanas the next hero they're putting in the game?
Yes.
I have to agree.
As much as I don't want it, and I want
Disagree.
as much as I want Lost Vikings,
I was gonna say I think Vikings are coming before Sylvanas.
I think Sylvanas is going to be the next hero.
See,
I think with what we saw at BlizzCon in the panels and everything like that, she is a lot further along than anybody really thinks, and she'll be the next hero.
From seeing the panels, seeing what they showed off of Sylvanas, actually playing the Lost Vikings, and then talking to Trixler and Spirian, she is much further along than anybody's letting on. They have...
She is.
I mean,
But is she further along than the Vikings?
You know what? I think
I would say so. Say yes.
She wasn't playable at BlizzCon.
No, I know she wasn't playable. As far as doneness goes, I think the Vikings.
Is that a word?
I think the Vikings are done. I think they're just having problems balancing them.
Yes, that's that. I would totally agree with that.
I have a feeling they're 100% done, as far as mechanics, as far as abilities, and being able to put in the game
artwork and
all that crap. It's just
they probably
balancing.
even have 27 different skins lined up.
Yeah,
for them
it's
too.
numbers right now because when I played them, they felt amazing. I mean,
Please tell me we're gonna get them in elf costumes next Winterville.
That would be amazing. Crazy map presence because of controlling the three at once,
right.
But against an organized team, I don't know how effective they would be. Quite
well,
yet.
I mean, you also got to think about. I can't remember.
I mean, one of their ultimates is only good if you're dying. And the Vikings, when I noticed, if one of them dies, it counts as a full hero kill, experience-wise.
Yeah, but I mean, you also got to think about this. I think I agree that the Lost Vikings, they're done. They're done. They're polished. They're not polished. But it's all about balancing them right. Because if you think about it, Phil, you pick up Lost Vikings, and I pick up Thrall. I'm just throwing out random heroes for each of us, except for the Lost Vikings. You know, Xizta, you're playing Jaina, and two more people are playing something else. Yeah, we're a team of 5, but really we're a team of 7 because
the map control. I mean,
because TLV is essentially 3 heroes.
You saw what I did on Sky Temple.
So you're going to get. So you're going 5v7 now instead of 5v5.
And I think you're more doing 5v6 technically because each Viking is not a full hero.
It's not a no. It's not a.
It's
full,
not.
They're 1/3 of a hero.
They gotta balance it right.
To be honest, I think
to
they're
make
each
it
half a hero.
Yeah, they're a lot. They're worth a lot more than you think.
But
I'm not saying that they're not
like,
worth more. Just the fact that you can separate them and control them all individually ups their worth. But I'm saying in terms of their damage and health pool, they're 1/3 of a hero.
It also ups their play. You know, their difficulty.
Well, that's probably what they're trying to tweak.
Right.
They don't want teams. They don't want to make TLV so overpowered that it makes it feel like it's a 7v5 or a 5v7.
There's also a problem inherent right now with this because there are certain heroes in the game that if someone doesn't know what they're doing, they're going to be a major detriment to their team. Certain heroes are easy enough to play that even, someone who's not the greatest with them can still, help you out on the team.
So what you're trying to say is that you guys
now.
want to do a team match with me playing the Lost Vikings. That's what you're telling me?
I can tell you right now the difficulty for Lost Vikings is going to be in Abathur. Abathur got harder.
I got this.
They and Arbither are going to be
Don't even worry. I got it.
In the hard difficulty to master.
From what I saw at BlizzCon, the Lost Vikings are the first insane difficulty hero.
Mm-hmm.
And rightfully so. You've got to have some insane.
You got to be me to play it
to control all 3.
Just for example, Cody, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. A bad Illidan on your team is basically GG from the outset because he's going to dive in, die. Now you're always going to be 5 versus 4, and they're going to be farming experience off him every chance they get.
Yep.
So imagine a bad Lost Vikings. I mean, an abysmally bad one on your team.
Well, yeah. If that's just.
Just imagine me playing.
It adds for intentional feeding, which would get really annoying.
Cody, just imagine me playing it, or imagine Geach playing it.
I wouldn't play with either of you.
Come on, Geach is great at the Witch Doctor.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
guys are horrible.
Um, no, I can see a lot of things going wrong with the Lost Vikings, and I think that's why we're not going to see him as the next hero, is due to the fact that I'm not sure Blizzard knows exactly how to implement him correctly enough for newer players to jump in without hurting their teammates.
Mm-hmm.
Abathur, in a sense, yes, he may be hard, but he's to a new player, he's still easy to jump in and kind of get the gist of. The Lost Vikings is a different kind of animal.
What do you
to
think
where
the Lost Vikings are going to cost?
Oh, 15,000 when they release.
they'll
just
still
like
be the
everything.
same 15.
You don't think they're going to jack that price up to try to
No.
deter newer players from
No,
jumping in?
No.
because then you're also deterring the veterans from picking them up.
And
So no, they
also,
won't.
they'll be in the free week rotation eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually, so new players can pick them.
I think it comes down to them trying to figure out how do they market TLV to the newer players. I think that's what it's going to come down to. I think Sylvanas is a lot easier for them to finish up, implement correctly for newer players to jump in and want to play her, because right now she is going to be more popular than TLV.
Very
And,
much.
and newer players are going to want to jump into the game. Oh, Sylvanas is there? Well, I'm new. I just got into beta. I want to play her. And
I know who Sylvanas is. I played Warcraft.
Well, I think, yeah. And I think she's going to be a whole lot easier for newer players to jump in and start playing. And I think Blizzard recognizes that, and they want to get her out sooner than TLV. I think TLV will be released soon, but I think Sylvanas will be released sooner.
I think it's, yeah, I agree with that. I'm pretty sure Sylvanas will be next, and then the Lost Vikings will come along. And then I'm just praying for Kael'thas, because I know he is in a
I think
good
Kael'thas
state.
Kael'thas is going to be a Heroes launch hero.
From what I heard when we were at BlizzCon, in the their internal builds, Kael'thas is a blast to play, a ton of fun. I'm just guessing that something's not finished enough. Maybe they need, they want the art to be better, skins. Maybe
I think
they can't figure out how to get Pyroblast to work right.
I don't know. I think if they were smart, as much as I think they need to release him. I think holding him back as a launch hero, or even save him for a themed patch hero.
Fire Festival.
Well, that if you
give us Ragnaros for that
I was going to mention that earlier. Give us Ragnaros to the Fire Festival.
with legs.
No, not with legs. I would
With
not.
legs.
That would be a skin.
No,
No,
how
no,
is
no,
he
that
gonna
would be
get
his
on a mount
ultimate.
without legs?
That would be his ultimate. He's, just his normal self moving around slow. Use the ultimate, he pops out of the ground, grows legs, and now he's the fastest hero in the game because he's
No,
Ragnaros with legs.
okay. So
Gotta be the other way around.
speaking of that, all I think of when I think of his ult sprouting legs is the new Scion from League of Legends, where he charges across the map and runs into people. That's all I see Ragnaros doing now.
Gotta
Yeah.
be the other way around, because from a design standpoint, he wouldn't have a mount.
There are
That's
a lot of
fine.
heroes
There are a
that
lot
don't
of
have
heroes that don't
mounts.
have mounts.
There's-
Rhaegar doesn't have a mount.
There's like
Brightwing
two.
doesn't have a mount. Rhaegar, Brightwing, Abathur, Falstad,
There's like two.
Sergeant Hammer.
Kerrigan.
Sergeant
Asmodeus.
Hammer is a mount.
She doesn't have the.
She doesn't
typical
have a
mounts.
mount.
Sergeant Hammer is a mount.
Okay,
Zagara doesn't have a mount.
Zagara and Asmodeus don't have a mount, but it works exactly like the mount does.
Yeah.
So the ones with a non-traditional mount: Falstad, Rhaegar, Abathur,
Countess.
Brightwing.
Countess Kerrigan. She
Kerrigan?
doesn't have a.
Well,
she doesn't have a mount.
That's
And
a
not
it's a traditionally working
not-
mount, though.
as Countess.
No,
She
okay, no,
transforms
no,
into a bat.
right, but it works as a traditional mount would. The same thing. You just get a buffed 40% movement speed while you're
Like I
out of
said,
combat.
there's like two.
So in a sense, as I drop that,
Yep, as you drop that. But
I think as much as I want Kael'thas to be in the game, I think holding him off for a theme bundle would be really cool. Like maybe when Fire Festival comes up, make a patch for that. So see, we got this patch this month. So in 4 months is April. April's another content patch, possibly Sylvanas. Do we see a new map, or do we see a new map and another 4 months based off of a theme? Do we get Lair of the Spider Queen or whatever that
We
map
don't
was
know.
called?
Tomb of the
Or
Spider.
Lair. Yeah, Tomb of the Spider Queen. That's all still very Egyptian themed. So do we see, Kael'thas come out in an Egyptian themed map like Tomb of the Spider Queen, or do we get another map based off of Blood Elves?
I don't know. All we know right now is that Tomb of the Spider Queen is coming eventually as the map, and that they're working on a concept for a Diablo-themed Heaven versus Hell map.
Which I still want to see how that's going to work out, because that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Just like if you think of the StarCraft map with one side being Terran, the other side being Zerg, how do you exactly balance out Zagara with that? Because that's going to be kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to do something like that. Who knows? I mean, we've seen some great things, and that's all we can expect from this game coming soon.
Yep.
But we're pretty much at our upper limit that we set for time here. Chatting for a while here. So anything else critical you guys want to mention that may have happened this week? Anything?
Selfie cam.
I took a selfie. I'm not uploading it.
Oh, I did. I didn't even care. Blurry and all, I put it up there.
I took a selfie from.
I expect this to be
keyboard, so it's
photoshopped.
a view like this.
So I've got something that happened that I'll mention. So one of my yearly goals was completed today. I had another community manager follow me on Twitter.
Oh yeah, I saw that happen, and I'm like, great. He's not going to shut the fuck up about this for a month.
So now I have a new yearly goal, and that is to get the actual game Twitter handle to follow me by the end of the year.
That one would be slightly harder than the CMs, but
Yeah, well, yes, but that is still a goal.
thank you, Savannah. She mentioned the most important thing of the week.
That's not-
60%
no,
off all
that's-
custom frames at Michael's.
That's not important
It was important last week when it was 50% off. Why is 60% off not important?
because that's only 10%.
Look, right there. He's got to amend the picture, but look at the pure excitement on that face.
That was when it was 50%.
I know, but now
Can
it's
you imagine
60.
what that face would look like at 60%?
That's only a 10% increase. It's not going to look any different.
Now what happens if it gets to 90% off?
Then my head will explode.
We need a picture of his head exploding. When
I
it
need
gets
to make some
90%
phone
off.
calls to the general manager of Michael's Arts and Crafts.
Well, there you go. The regional manager or something or other. Make the call. But I would say that's our show. Safe assumption. Dom and your picture of Cody with frames. Where can they find you? The myriad of
Find me
places.
down below at Xizta, XIZTA _. You can also find me and Mike on As Seen on TV podcast on YouTube, youtube.com/ASOTV podcast. All one word for so many podcasts, it's ridiculous. Just, if you watch TV, we probably cover at least one show you watch.
Yup. And Cody, where can they find you?
People watch TV.
Occasionally.
Oh,
I watch.
Weird.
Yeah.
weird.
We just did like a 90-minute podcast on the season finale of American Horror Story.
I don't know. I don't watch TV.
So
you can find
yeah.
you can find me on Twitter at Can't Heals with a Z. You can find me on Twitch.tv/Can't Heals with a Z. You can find me on those two places because my Facebook page is just kind of there.
It's just
And,
kind of
and
there.
Silent
But
Chaos
you-
again.
Yeah, and then you can also find all three of us at Silent Chaos. That is the Twitter handle. At Silent Chaos. Wow.
.wowlaunch.com.
And then our website is silentchaos.wowlaunch.com. We're always looking for new members as far as any class goes. We're looking for a new tank because I still can't get the one tank to join us. So we're always in need of another tank. And we need healers. For the first time and since the guild's inception, we were range heavy this past weekend, so I would say that we're doing well on ranged, but we could always use more.
And we'd like to at some point dabble in Mythic, so It'd be nice to get some more people.
Maybe at some point.
We would like our full 20 people.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you can find me on Twitter at Philodrin, right there. Where Dom mentioned As Seen on TV podcast, where Cody mentioned Silent Chaos Guild, that's US Terralian, which he forgot to mention, Horde side. I see a question in chat, when do we raid? We raid every Friday and Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Show up a little early, we get the group going, yada yada yada. And that's our show. You can find us here every Tuesday night on twitch.tv/Xizta at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. And yeah. And now for the longest transition ever. Okay, it wasn't as bad as last week. What was that? Is there a handprint on your head now?